Hi, I'm Paul. I'm a scholar of religion and a retired minister. I struggle with doubt. Maybe we can help each other. Remember the old song by Daniel Powter, the Canadian singer and artist, called Bad Day? That was a song that really struck a nerve in 2005. It went, you've had a bad day, you've taken one down, you sing a sad song just to turn it around. You're having a bad day, you're doing anything you can just to make things a little bit better. And that really struck with a lot of people. It was number one on the Billboard Hot 100 for 5 weeks and did very well in other countries as well. And I remember in those days hearing it on the radio so much, it kind of reminded me a little bit of the 1980s hit song by the Bangles, Manic Monday. Remember that one? Just another Manic Monday. Wish it were Sunday. That's my fun day. My I don't have to run day. And she's dealing with it's Monday and oh my gosh, we got another week coming. And that reminded me of the 1970s hit by the Carpenters. Rainy days and Mondays always get me down. All those songs were really successful, even though they're kind of downers. But it just goes to show you how common it is for people to deal with struggles and bad days. And anything you can do to help somebody with that is very, very welcomed. Well, I think a healthy spirituality can help us with it as well. And one of the foundational things that really can help, I think, is remembering what the Bible says about God. Now, when people talk about God, they're always thinking of the ultimate reality, the all-powerful and all that kind of stuff. And that's in the Bible to some extent, not all-powerful, I don't think, but certainly very powerful. There's the Psalms that talk about the stars in the sky, and in Job, God talks about how I hung those stars and I put the universe together. There's incredible power and incredible majesty, awesomeness about God. But that's not what the Bible focuses on. The Bible focuses on the fact that God is love. 1 John 4 says it twice. God is love, and explores what that means. And really, when you look back at the Hebrew Bible and the New Testament, the whole thing is based on this idea that God is God. God is everywhere. God is powerful. God is the ultimate reality. But this ultimate reality is love. And not just any love, but a special, unconditional kind of love that we see in various stories in the Bible. A thread of it starts even in the earliest pages of the Bible and goes all the way through. And they're illustrated, for example, by the story of God freeing Israel from slavery in the Hebrew Bible, or God freeing us from guilt in Jesus in the New Testament. And it says that this is God's essential nature. All of God's power, God's ultimateness, God's awesomeness comes out of this humble love. And God is especially strong because God's nature is this kind of love, and all the strength and all the power and all the awesomeness in the universe are there to tell us a little bit of something about how awesome and beautiful and rich and powerful this love is. And what's really cool about this love is that the Bible says that this love is there for each of us as individuals. The one who hung the stars in the sky, the one who holds all the universe and the atoms and the molecules and everything together, did it in part out of love for you and me. Now, there's more stories in the Bible that talk about the depth and the richness of that love, especially when you get to Jesus. But all of that is built on this foundation that love is God's nature. And what we see in God's actions in both the Hebrew Bible and in Jesus' lifetime is an explication of this love. Well, how does that help me with my bad day? It may help on bad days to remember that the fabric of the universe is love, and that love is there working on your behalf each and every day, even and maybe even especially in bad days. And that means that in spite of the bad days that we have, in spite of our struggles, and the Bible doesn't tell us why we have to have bad days. It doesn't tell us why we have to have struggles. But it does promise us that the ultimate reality cares about us and our struggles and is walking with us through our struggles. And no matter how dark it seems in the moment, will lead us through those struggles. And that means that our bad days are not the rule, but the exception. They are the outliers. And that can give us real hope, even on a very bad day. If you have thoughts, disagreements, put them in the comments below, please. God bless you all.